Hi, I'm Hansel from section BTU V1, and for this video, we're going to solve again an inverse z transform of the given function. We have the problem, find y of n if, another word, find y of n, which is we're going to find the inverse z transform of the given function y of z is equal to z squared times the quantity of z plus 1 over z minus 1 quantity of it times the quantity of z squared minus z plus 0.5. First thing to do again is to assess or evaluate our given function. Since our given function na siya involvement nga squared sa babaw, so automatically mo-proceed to partial fraction. And the first thing to do in doing partial fraction is to divide both sides by z. So mag-divide to both sides by z. Pag-divide both sides by z, na siya z dito sa babaw, sa baba rather, is equal to katong z squared mas z na lang plus times the quantity of z plus 1 over the denominator. And then, pag-divide both sides, mag-solve ta sa poles. When we say poles, ang iyang mga factors, then, nga makapa-zeros ilang mga each term, each factor rather. So, pag z minus 1, ato lang na siya equate to 0, so z is equal to 1. But this time, kani siya is a quadratic in a quadratic form. So in solving this one, we will plug this one into the quadratic formula where our a, b, and c are the following. So our quadratic formula is negative b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So ato lang na siya i-substitute ang value sa a, b, and c. So solving that one in our calculator, we've got this pole 1 plus minus j over 2. So our poles are, so 1, positive 1, 1 half plus j 1 half, the plus, and the 1 half minus j 1 half. Sa ato makita diri, this is a complex conjugate pair. Conjugate pair na sila, diba? Plus minus, then complex since na imaginary and real part. Next, so, nanani siya, muna ni ato ang equation. Y of z is equal to z is equal to the numerator over z minus 1, our first pole man siya, diba? Muna ito makita nga first pole, our second pole, and our third pole. Ano siya mga factors sa denominator. Then, sa partial fraction, pagkuha na nila is magleta o mga unknown variables. So, a, b, and c. Makita ninyo sa C, nagbutang tawag B asterisk. This denote that ang C is just equal to the conjugate of B. Mag-change lang na siya og sign sa imaginary part. Since ang imaginary part naman ng ilahang nag-change, right? Plus J and negative J. So for A, so in solving A, again, in the previous videos, we just have to multiply the denominator of A. Since atong denominator of A is z minus 1, so ato lang na siya i-multiply sa y of z over z. Pag multiply na nila, ang mabilin is kadto ang remaining nga duha ka factor and also the numerator. Then our z here is kung atong pole, katong pole na to nga equate to 0 is equal siya of 1. So, z is equal to 1. So, ato lang na siya i-substitute sa diri, sa value sa z, ato lang na equal ng 1. So, ang atong a is equal to 4. Then, so, for b, same as b, kung unsay denominator sa b, may atong i-multiply sa y of z over z. Pag multiply na nila, since ang ato ang manong na negative naman ni nga positive matugaina, right? Muna siyang question ron, nga na negative man na siya. Since ako man na siyang i-distribute ang negative sign, so may muna siya dala og negative, then ang kanidri ang ma-positive na siya. So take note of that. So what happened here? Muna to siya, diba? Ako nang i-distribute ang sign. So ang ato ang pole diri is positive, right? Okay, muna siya ang ato ang nakuha gaina. Kanilang diri ay as ako ang nag-distribute ang negative sign. That's why nga nahitabo. So, ang mabiling dito is kadto ang numerator nga z times the quantity of z plus 1 over z minus 1 quantity of z minus 1 times the quantity of z minus 1 half plus j 1 half. Now, na plus na diri tungod kay kina-distribute naman ako ang negative sign. Since negative times negative man to diri right is equal to positive. So, same as ato ang pole, kung sa atong kuan, dapat i-substitute sa value sa z. So, ako na nang z, that one, substitute lang nato ang value sa z. So, makaget ta ani na result. So, negative 3 halves minus j 1 half is equal to, this is a rectangular form, so ato na siya i-polar form. This will result to 1.5811, the angle of negative 161.5650 degrees. Take note of that, nga negative ni siya. So, ang ato ang C is just the conjugate of our B. Since negative to dito ang iyahang imaginary part, sa atong C is ma-positive na imaginary part. Since kapila naman sila real part, right? Negative 3 halves. So, copy lang ang real part. Then, ang atuang imaginary part is the angle or the degrees, in degrees, is positive na since negative to sa pikas. Since na nato yung value sa A, B, and C, ato na siya i-plug in sa ato ang equation ato nabuhat kay ina. So, y of z is equal to the A, B, and C with their corresponding denominators. And then, we will multiply both sides by z para wala na tong z dali para y of z na lang siya mabilin. So, may mo na siyang 4z over z minus 1 plus the constant ni siya. So, z na siya dali ka nag-multiply man tag z over the denominator, constant, then z over the denominator. Then, we will proceed to the inverse z transform. So, the inverse z transform of this term plus the constant, copy lang, then inverse z transform of this term plus the constant, and the inverse z transform of this term. Remember, if natay aning form, the inverse z transform of it is just a u of n, right? And if nanapot tayo form ng ani, ang inverse z transform of that is this one. So, sa atong first term, makita nato z minus 1. So, yung inverse z transform nga, ang iyang forma is just equal this one. We will just have to substitute the value of a. And then this one, z minus a, ang atong a diri is this pole, ang atong pole nga kani. Ano siya, pose. So, ato lang na-substitute ang atong a dira. Therefore, ang ato ang inverse z transform, y of n, is just equal to, since ako, di ba, ato lang na substitute ang 4 as the value of a, 4un for the first term, plus, copy the constant, then our a, 1 half plus j 1 half. So, ato na siyang ikuan, same lang man sila denominator. So, pwede na siya can be written as 1 plus j over 2 raised to n, u of n. Then, another one plus, copy the constant. Then, ang our a is 1 half minus j 1 half. So, can be written as 1 minus j over 2 raised to n, u of n. Therefore, ang ato inverse z transform of our given function is just equal to this. That's all for this video. I hope you learned something. Thank you and see you in the next one.